So I know you've probably been posting about Palestine and you think, this is weird. There's certain comments that seem to repeat. And also, if you engage with these pro-genocide supporters, you seem to see the same thing over and over and over again, the same similarities in comments, almost like it's copy and paste, right? You're not alone. You see, there's this thing called the Hasbara Handbook, okay? And there's not just the Hasbara Handbook, there's another one too. This handbook literally goes through step by step what Zionists are supposed to do in order to promote the settler colonialist state of Israel that is currently committing genocide. And keep in mind, the settler colonialist state of Israel has been ethnically cleansing Palestinian people since before 1948. But let's start. The first aim of Israel advocacy is to influence public opinion. Public opinion is very important to Israel. Israel benefits from public support economically. You see why they care about boycotts? It says right here, okay? One of the reasons Israel has spent so much time and money on influencing the politics within the USA and to make boycotting Israel basically not allowed in multiple states within the USA is because it affects them economically. They even put it in this book. So Israel benefits from public support economically in terms of willingness to visit Israel and buy Israeli goods. Yeah. See what we mean? Israel doesn't want you boycotting. This is why it's so important that we boycott. And here we go. The second aim of Israel advocacy is to influence public leaders. Joe Biden, looking at you. It is possible for citizens to influence public officials and leaders directly. Politicians respond to public pressure. If politicians receive dozens of letters calling upon them to support Israel, they will be more likely to do so. Listen to this kicker, okay? Listen to this. Israel benefits from public support abroad because it ensures a more sympathetic response to Israel policy, like the policy of ethnic cleansing, the policy of apartheid. A lot of the time when the settler colony of Israel is defending themselves, they say that they're defending, Western values, and Western values are at stake. But let's get into some of their rhetoric, their language when they engage with Palestinians, pro-Palestinians, and people who don't really know what's going on. They use something called neutralizing negativity. Now, keep in mind, the settler colony of Israel and the Zionist organizations among Zionists in general, they have multiple tools that they use when they, debate us or, try to influence us or just in general interact with us, okay? So this is just one of the many tools that they use, and there's so many in here. So neutralizing negativity is about attempting to counter harmful impressions and accusations. This is the side of Hasbara that is concerned with the defense of Israel. Okay, let's get into this. Israel's not bad because Israel's actions were justified because. Sound familiar? This often involves arguing over sequences of events, attempting to reframe debates to focus on different issues, and placing events in a wider context so that the difficulty of Israel's situation is understood in a more positive light. Of course you should let us ethnically cleanse and genocide people. What do you expect us to do? How are we supposed to defend ourselves if we can't erase the Palestinian people from the earth? That's what they're saying here. And of course, a drum roll for more of what you've heard. Israel is a democracy, but they completely leave out the fact that it's a democracy for one ethno group, okay? Ethno/religious group. Because the majority of Palestinian people can't actually vote. Why? Because it's not actually a democracy. But they'll keep touting this lie anyways. Because they claim to be the only democracy in the Middle East. I don't know about you, but as a Jordanian citizen, I would be able to go and vote for an elected official to go and represent me. So, not the only democracy in the Middle East. The next one, Israel wants peace. They just want peace, you guys, okay? They just want peace. But through that process, they need to ethnically cleanse, commit genocide, oppress, torture, steal, take hostage, use airstrikes, starve over 2 million people, commit massacres beyond what we could ever imagine. But Israel just wants peace. Just wants peace. And remember the dehumanization that Israel has purposely put into place against Palestinian people and Muslim people, okay? So watch, they explain it. This often involves setting the agenda, focusing on some of the most positive features of Israel, and taking the lead in attacking the Palestinian leadership in an effort to allow people to view Israel favorably in comparison. And I'm sure you've gotten a lot of comments like this where Zionists come in and they basically blame what is happening, what Israel is committing against the Palestinian people, and they blame it on the Palestinian people and the Palestinian leadership. But in reality, Palestinian people wouldn't have a problem if it weren't for Zionists being genocidal monsters. And they were genocidal monsters before October 7th, okay? Just to keep that in mind. They've continuously played this narrative. They continuously use books like this, the Hasbara Handbook. And this is only the first couple pages in. This isn't even all of it, okay? They have been working on pushing their narrative for so long. They have been weaving their way into different political arenas, including the USA, including Canada, including Australia, including the UK. They are using stuff like AIPAC to go and lobby governments to vote in their favor, and they're using this methodology that's literally written and the public can read in order to influence foreign governments so that those foreign governments don't hold the settler colony of Israel accountable for ethnic cleansing, genocide, and more. And instead do what Biden is doing, which is literally funding and supplying weapons for genocide. Anyways, you can read this yourself. Just search Hasbara Handbook and it comes up. This is also why we don't engage with Zionists, because by engaging with Zionists, you're just dealing with the Hasbara Handbook, and these people are so set in their ways, you cannot change their mind. It's fascism, it's genocide, it is Zionism. So keep talking about Palestine, and as always, free Palestine. I feel like a lot of people are just starting to learn about the Hasbara Handbook, and they're completely shocked. Now, if you don't already know this, the settler colony known as Israel has a book. It's called the Hasbara Handbook, okay? Basically, it gives Zionists a pathway to how to deal with Palestinians, and anyone who's not entirely aware of the occupation that's been going on since, before 1948. There's ways that they deflect. There's ways that they're supposed to say things, how they're supposed to shift the conversation. Let's go through just a smidge of the Hasbara Handbook. So this post kind of quickly sums up what we're all feeling. So if you're newly plugged into Palestine and seeing the Israeli propaganda machine for what it is, know that you're not losing your mind. The absurdity, the lack of logic exercised by Zionists is a deliberate tactic. This is why we don't engage. Nothing is said in good faith. We don't engage with Zionists because they do not debate. They follow this Hasbara Handbook, okay? They've been trained on how to deal with us in such a way to waste our time and distract from the reality, which is Israel is a settler colony committing massacre after massacre against the Palestinian people. Okay, so the Hasbara tracker goes through this. This is the method of advocacy encouraged by the Israeli state and its supporters. This is used to make it look like they're having a genuine debate, whilst also avoiding the debate. The strategy is to say nothing. So yeah, for those who think that this has been going on since October 7th, the Israeli state published this back in 2002. Let's go through their method, this point scoring method. Point scoring is a method of communication that prioritizes making certain points favorable to the speaker and attacking opponents of the speaker by trying to undermine their positions. So this is the important one. Point scoring communication ought to give the appearance of a rational debate whilst avoiding genuine discussion. The aim of the Israel activist point scorer is to try to make as many comments that are positive about Israel as possible whilst attacking certain Palestinian positions and attempting to cultivate a dignified appearance. This is literally in their Hasbara Handbook. Point scoring works because most audience members fail to analyze what they hear. Rather, they just register only a few key points and form a vague impression of whose argument was stronger. The Hasbara Handbook even tells you when to use the point scoring method, when the audience is only partially engaged. They've been doing this for years and training people how to debate us for years, how to score points whilst avoiding debate. Audience members can be alienated by undisguised attacks, so all point scoring needs to be disguised. So Zionists are taught to say, well, that's not really the right question. I don't think we should be focusing on ... The real point is that ... That's an interesting point, but I don't think we can really begin to address it before we think about ... Isn't some of this sounding really familiar? But wait, there's more. You seem to assume that ... an assumption that's impossible to share. Really, we need to consider ... They'll usually insert some BS like a two-state solution here. And basically, these are examples to give the appearance of addressing what was said. So I just want you all to be aware that Israel has been doing this for years. Israel has been employing people to literally troll us and waste our time for years, okay? They put millions into programs every year to get people to take down our videos, take down our posts, sit there in our comments and harass us, literally waste our time utilizing the Hasbara Handbook and repeating the same nonsense over and over and over again. So you're not losing your mind. It is literally a tactic that Israel has been using against the pro-Palestinian community for years. And this is one of the main reasons why we do not engage with Zionists. You cannot change their mind. Their ideology is set. And even if you could, the majority that we're seeing come in our posts and our comments and everything, they're paid trolls. They're getting paid money to do that. So do not waste your time because you cannot speak logic to racists, to supremacists, to people who are literally celebrating the genocide of the Palestinian people. Get involved in direct action. And as always, free Palestine.